Now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right.
Right now.
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 Right now. Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Because it's time to write now. Hello, welcome writers to a weekly community update stream where we will talk about what's going on in the community, and that's what we're going to do today. So today's going to be a little bit of a shorter update. We don't have too much going on, but this is a great check-in for the week. Originally, we had a writing guest scheduled, but due to weather, we had to reschedule. So we'll have that guest queued up in a couple weeks, but we'll return next week. Next Monday with another guest that we have doing actually something really cool for the community. We have another writing event coming up in the greater writing AuthorTube community. So make sure to stick around. We'll hang out for a little bit. I'll share with you what's going on this week and right now and what is on my mind. I'll give everyone a few minutes to hop into the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, what's up, Vamika? Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, my friend. Hopefully the writing vibe is treating you well. I feel like Mondays are always a good time to be able to level set what we have going on for the week. I know with Scarecrow, I've gotten some excellent feedback now that I've started giving it out to beta readers, and it's so empowering hearing that feedback and starting to hear things that are working really well, things that could be improved. And I absolutely love the process. I seem to be in a writing routine now where I don't have enough time to do what I want to do. So trying to figure out how to be more stretch more time in with the time that I'm given. Something that's been on my mind for the writing streams. So for those of you who've been around for the past couple months, you might be new to the community. Around the end of November, I had very set times, random times that I played around with my schedule for doing our daily writing sprint streams. These usually fall on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday for the most part. This week, this past couple weeks, I've really been asking myself, how can I get the writing sprint streams to a point and a time where they can fall at the same place at the same time every day? So I think this is going to be the last week where I figured out with my schedule what's going to work. So probably starting in February, which is literally next week, I'll return to timed writing sessions where we will stream at a set time each and every day. So I'll be releasing that next week, but I know that's something that's been on my mind. I know there's a lot of you who want to come hang out with us for the writing sessions. Maybe you're busy, maybe you want to hang out for a couple of the sessions, but you don't know what times we are streaming at. So just wanted to give that quick update. Hey, what's up, Neil? Hope everything's treating you well today, my friend. So what we have going on this week, it's like we got so little. I was like, I didn't even create a weekly schedule because it's not, we don't have anything really crazy. Those of you know that Wednesday, of course, is our writers group, same time, same place, 4 Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, every single Wednesday. And then the only other specialty stream we have going on this week is our Friday stream for channel members, which is, for those of you who are YouTube channel members, our Friday stream is a motivation one. I haven't done a motivation one in a little while, but I was like, I knew with kind of all the chaos that's going on out in the world and with our lives and everything, just everything, I felt like it would be a really good time to be able to focus a writing stream around writer's block. So our specialty stream this Friday is going to be how do I fix writer's block? This is going to to be a live recording. So for channel members, basically you can come, ask questions, show up. Basically, I will, it's treated like I'm filming like a live YouTube video. And then in the months to come, this will be re-uploaded as a normal edited video for the greater community. So it's like an early access filming, but I knew it was time to have a conversation about writer's block and what does writer's block look like in 2026, right? There's so much craziness going on this year. How do we stay motivated? How do we stay dedicated? And most importantly, how do we stay consistent with our writing routines while keeping ourselves accountable in a way that does not create guilt? So that's what we're going to be focused on this week. And yeah, if you do want to become a channel member, you can just click the join button down below the YouTube channel. That kind of walks you through the different tiers. But for the $4.99 tier, that's basically just a great way to support the community. And then you get access to be able to check out our monthly critique group and all of the videos that are available on the channel. And yeah, great way to support it. $4.99 a month. And then after YouTube takes its cut, and then after taxes, that generally leaves myself with about $2.50 a month. So, life of a creator. Awesome. So that's what we got going on this week. Like I said, nothing crazy. This is going to be a really, really simple week just in terms of the writing streams themselves, which I'm so excited because then that means Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday are going to be full writing sessions. Now, I'm really trying to focus my schedule so that way I can have full-on writing sessions as compared to having to call them off. I hope I won't have to call any off, but I know that I really need to make a solid push with finishing up and getting to the halfway marker of the third draft of The Last Scarecrow, so I'm really hoping I can make that push this week. So that's going to be my goal, and we'll see what we can accomplish. Right now, my aim is to have the writing sprint streams probably earlier in the day, around that early afternoon period. So we'll see what we see. And now, so in terms of what else we have going on, like I said, we'll probably be seeing more updates, or you guys will be seeing more updates come February. I felt January was kind of like a rest, recover, and reset month for me, which I've really appreciated. So February, I don't have an exciting announcement for something. I will have kind of an exciting announcement, and then we'll be returning the conversation to what's coming up with Write Unite. So we'll be returning to those announcements in February. And then, let's see. So in the meantime, what do we have? We have an exciting Discord announcement. So as y'all know, every single week we do we've started doing these weekly writing challenges. And essentially, I wanted to come up with another way for you to be able to do something fun and cool with the community, but it's a very, very simple thing. This last week, we had a great writing challenge, and we got a couple of really great submissions. They're very detailed and in-depth, and I need your help to figure out which one should we vote on. Which one do you like? So, I need your help. Let's vote. So, I'm going to pull them up on screen. We'll go over the challenge, and let's see what we see. So, this last week, the week of January 19th, our third round of writing challenges was a dialogue challenge. So let's see what we got. Let's see what writers submitted. We have 3 really strong submissions here. So as we can see, our week of January 19th challenge, what is the strongest, most clever, or most comedic line of dialogue of your own creation that one of your characters has spoken? So essentially this was a dialogue challenge. And the submissions we had all turned out to be really, really strong excerpts. So we're going to go through each of these excerpts, and then I'm going to need your help on deciding which one of these 3 are your favorite. So 3 excerpts, which one is your favorite? Okay, so let's get into it. So we had our first one from Rach. Let's see what we got. So we're looking for dialogue, strongest, most clever, or most comedic. All right. The bite is a recurring joke and threat, not a line, but excerpt. Gabriel stood on the moors and looked towards the ruins of the castle that had once stood so grand. The main portion left was a large tower facing the sea. He had asked that they be allowed to search these ruins and the surrounding area in Ireland. They all stood outside what was left of an old stone house on a hill, near what was left of Castle Dromenier in County Tipperary. The O the Osenide clan, later known as the Kennedy clan, once ruled over this entire county, having several castles. He wasn't sure why this one seemed more important than the others until he got closer. He felt something. He swore he could feel Sanias. Sebastian stepped forward to assess everything when Dante's shadowing minions slithered across the ground. The vampire swore he heard them giggling and laughing as they reported to their demonic master a few feet from him. He'd never admit they unnerved him. My minions, there's magic in play. Protection. And they definitely sensed something large and alive within. They saw a doorway from the backside. Maybe in the cabin? Dante pointed to the stone house. Why? Sebastian asked. He didn't recall Sanias having a lair here, but according to Dante's nasty little shadow minions, something large was in residence. Because this belonged to him before it belonged to them, Aeneas replied. He said it was his favorite place, Ireland. He showed me wonderful memories of rolling in the heather, flying and swimming, memories that were before humans came. This place is the only one of the castles that have both convenient and, like Dante said, something's in that ground beneath the little house. Gabriel didn't stop moving until he was staring at the smoothed over back wall of the stone block home. Fine. But if he's not here, I'm biting the damned demon. The vampire looked over the landscape. There were still caregivers on the property, so he seemed to be vigilant. What did I do? Dante seemed perplexed. Encouraged him. Sebastian turned to look over his shoulder. I don't think biting him is the threat you believe it to be, Sebastian, Aeneas smirked. He forgets. I have 2 sets of fangs and will bite his ass back. The demon grinned, showing off said fangs. Well, get on with it before we have any humans getting too curious. Don't they know the monsters come out at night? Sebastian muttered. All right, an end excerpt. So a fun little writing challenge there. And so it looks like we did some setup for it. So we're not going to focus as much on the setup as we will focus on this conversation between a couple characters. Now, because they're excerpts, we're not going to worry too much about understanding the plot or the narrative. We're more focused on the dialogue itself. So that one was a fun little bit between a couple of vampires. There's a couple of memorable lines there. We definitely get some good world building here. He showed me wonderful memories in the heather, flying and swimming, memories that were before humans came. That was a fun one. And then, let's see, this is a little bit of plotting. I think my favorite bit of this was our ending. I really liked the way this ended right here in terms of these pieces of dialogue. He forgets to have 2 sets of fangs and will bite his ass back. We have a little bit of rivalry and enmity. We'll get on with it before we have any humans getting too curious. Don't they know the monsters come out at night? I kind of like that. That's kind of a nice ending thought. So those are the 2 bits of dialogue that I like the most out of this. But we'll see which ones y'all like. So we have our vampires to kick off with. Now let's go on to the second submission. So LeMay, I'm still working my dialogue, but here's one. Casimir headed for the stairs, tucked into an archway to the right of the desk, and lingered on the 5th step when he overheard the conversation continuing without him. Sheesh! And I thought you were the biggest narc here, said Sasha. Inspector Inbred has you beat. Stop scaring the freshmen, Damien snapped. We aren't like those psychos at Raw. I don't know why I asked you to do this. No need to get mad at me. He asked and I was only being truthful, Sasha scoffed. Wouldn't want him to end up like that idiot who poisoned himself and his body dumped in a ditch by some stupid professor. Casimir leaned in closer. Damien sighed. That was just a misguided attempt to curb bad press. I wouldn't even bother. No way would I find myself in prison for this school. It is too bad, though. Professor Trent was crazy, but he had fun stories. The new alchemy professor just seems unhinged, not in a fun way. Casimir wrinkled his nose. Chancellor Salamander was right to fire everyone. Damien sighed again. Most seasoned weavers are a little off-kilter. Even my dad says it is an occupational hazard. Heh, no kidding. What a thrilling career. I get to become a ticking time bomb with other ticking time bombs. Too bad I could not remain the one who disabled the bomb. Hey, Mind Rattler, how long are you going to awkwardly stand there? Sasha called out. Casimir debated with himself on whether he should make up an excuse, but decided to ascend the stairs to the second floor. I miss it when weavers could not sense me. Ooh, I like that. So that one, of course, we had a different genre. So we went from vampires to it looks like a school. I think, LeMay, if this is from your story, a school murder mystery. I want to say it was like a thriller, fantasy thriller. Very, very cool. The plot thickens. What's interesting is I think my favorite parts of this are actually the interiority. I think my favorite parts of this, but that just might be me personally. I love how the interiority is leveraged here to propel the character development and add a little bit of intrigue. I think the interiority is my favorite part of it. There's a couple of bits of dialogue. When I pull the dialogue, I'm like, all right, so what stands out? I feel like we had the two characters, and each character was very clear. I knew who was speaking when. And let's see, Inspector. And it's kind of funny because I feel like I was able to get their personality from the dialogue. Inspector Inbred has you beat. Clearly a dialogue. I love that. We have a little bit of plotting here. This is plotting. That's just misguided attempt. The new alchemy professor just seems unhinged and not in a fun way. That is a great line. Love that. A little more plotting. And then I like this last one. Hey, Mind Rattler, how long are you going to awkwardly stand there? There's something about this that feels like this is the same character, Sasha, speaking from the very beginning. So I felt like I connected the most with Sasha because of just the dialogue itself. Well, I felt like I connected both of them differently. I connected with Sasha's dialogue as a character, and then Damien, I connected with his interiority. A lot of Damien's dialogue is more propelling the plot, not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It just is. Yeah. So I would say that's that one. And then let's go to number 3. All right. So it's like Courtney. Let's see what we got here. Personally, I still giggle at Tank here. Poor guy. We have a few more coming with the truck, but let's start with those you probably haven't met yet, Gear says before pointing at people, saying the name already on their cuts. X, he says, pointing to Exorcist. Tank, he points to a huge man. Tats, he points to a man who surprisingly has no ink or any piercings, causing me to give a questioning look. Everyone laughs, but Needles, who groans out, I'm scared of needles. Oh, hi. I'm Riley. This is Dylan, I say, pointing at Dylan. Thank you for coming to help. We hear more bikes roar in the distance. When Gear says, Razor, Riot, Puzzle, Rev, Flinch, Shade should be pulling up now. The prospect will be in the truck, Tank says in a booming voice that makes me cringe. Before anyone can say anything, my neighbor, who shares a wall with me, is screaming and pounding on the wall, knocking my pictures down. Dylan rolls his eyes and goes to the wall, grabbing the pictures while Tank raises his eyebrows at Gears. Damn, man, X says, laughing. Your normal voice just pissed off the neighbor, he says, leaning over with laughter. Sorry, she doesn't like any noise, I say. Let's get started. Tank, God, and send the guys up. Gears takes control. Tank goes to the door looking around, but making sure to smack X across the back of his head as he passes him. Shut up, he tries whispering. I start giggling at the absurdity of this entire situation and walk to the kitchen. Nice. So I feel like we definitely get quite a setup. I feel like we have what's interesting about this is doing a lot of character setup for a lot of these different characters that are part of this club. But really, we're getting the most character development with Gears as the leader. We do get a little bit with Riley, who I do believe Riley is the protagonist. But this isn't really about Riley's development. This is specifically for Gears. And then it also does world building by showing us what the culture, it gives us a peek at what the club's culture feels like in the way that Gears, Needles, and I want to say Truck, I believe, interacts with each other. Tank. Yeah, I was like Truck. Tank. Tank, Needles, and Gears. So I want to say that there's 4 speaking characters in the scene. Dylan is there as well, and then there's a lot more that are referenced in it. So when I think about the dialogue itself, I think, let's see, saying the name already. I like that I like that each of the characters are being set up. It really sets Gears up as a leader. It makes me intrigued to learn more about the gang members, right? How come he's called Exorcist? How come Tank is called, maybe because he's a big dude. I don't know. That'd be my guess. And then Tats. Needles is funny. I thought Needles was a funny moment. I think of the characters, I kind of liked Needles the most because there's kind of like that irony of like Needles, but why Needles? And it's answered very quickly. And it's like, okay, a little endearing to that. And then of course Gears references all the other ones here, but all these other names don't really do anything for us right now because they're just like more names, right? Until we actually meet the characters. And then we get a little action. Dylan rolls his eyes. I kind of like Tank as well. You can kind of tell Tank is like that, like the big dude. Tank kind of makes me think that he's the big. He's like the man of few. He's like the dude guy of few words, is what I'm starting to think about. So when I think about this, I think I like Tank and I like Gears dialogue the most. I feel like those show me the most. Needles, of course, as well. So I would say when I walk away from this, I like Needles, Gears, Tank, from just a pure dialogue perspective. What's interesting is while we have a couple different characters going on, I do feel like each character has a distinct way of speaking, which is really hard to do with when you do multiple characters. So I like that. And yeah, so those are our 3 pieces of dialogue for this week's challenge. Which one did you like? Let me drop the vote. So we had vampires. We had the vampire dialogue, the thriller mystery dialogue. Which dialogue did you like the most? I'm throwing up a poll right now. We got vampire dialogue, thriller, school thriller, mystery dialogue, and then biker gang dialogue. Okay, perfect. So I just started the poll. And of course, if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to drop a comment. If you want to just let us know which one you like the most. I'll be deciding by the end of the day and we'll see which one wins. So vote now. Let us know which one was your favorite based purely off the dialogue. So we want to ask ourselves when crafting dialogue, and I'm not going to do any type of reflection on any of these 3. I think all of them were great little excerpts. And I want to say, like, I so appreciate all of you guys submitting, doing these little writing things. Like, this is cool, right? And I think it's really, really great when we're able to participate and then grow as writers. And I think dialogue can be a very difficult one for writers. Dialogue can be very challenging because the question is, how do I make dialogue that is authentic to my characters? I myself have grown and come a long way with my dialogue. In my rough draft, my dialogue is kind of very like mediocre, but by the time I got to through my second draft, which I'm still wrapping up the end of the second draft, the dialogue is just so much stronger. It's in such a better place. And it feels very clear that if I were to pull out a page at random and take out the character actions, I feel like readers or somebody would be able to guess which character is which based on the way they speak. And I've really tried to, with dialogue myself, and this is just my strategy, I really try to play into what are specific words, what are specific styles, what are nuances, what are lengths of sentences in terms of how different characters tend to talk. So yeah, that was great. And we'll see which one wins for this week. And the winners dialogue will be entered into the Hall of Epic Writers. So let's see. We'll see which one wins. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for voting. And we're going to see which one. Ooh, votes are coming in. I like it. I like it. I like it. So make sure that if you're watching on the replay and you're watching today, Monday, January 26th, drop a comment. Let us know which one you like the most. And I'll take that into consideration for the winner. So we'll decide. Let's see. Ooh, this is gonna be a close one. This is definitely going to be a close one. So we'll see what we see, my friends. And then, of course, since it's Monday, that means it's time for a new writing challenge. And this week's is even easier because I love these are some of my favorite parts of stories. So the challenge for this coming week, or for this week, which you can now submit now, is going to be fun. I know dialogue's always a challenge, so we're going to do something simple. Our round 4 writing challenge. Write the strongest, cleverest, wittiest, or most well-crafted single sentence you can. It should function as a cliffhanger at the very end of a chapter or an entire novel. So, what is the best cliffhanger you can give me? What is the best cliffhanger you can give us? Now, this time I've clarified, given you guys a couple rules. It must be an original line of your own creation. You may write it specifically for this challenge or pull it from a current or previous project. And then, of course, as you guys have seen, we'll vote on them on Mondays. And then the winners get entered into the Hall of Epic Writers. Here we go. So right now we're entering here. I'm coming up with an additional logo to highlight our winners. So I think I have to do a it'll probably be a what's it called? It'll probably be a label. So I'm going to come up with a label that will highlight the winner for the week that they win the challenge. So far we have our first 2, and then I myself entered last week. I kind of play it week by week. So that's what we got this week, my friends. And let's see, voting. Y'all voted excellent. Ooh, this is going to be a close one. This is definitely going to be a close one. Awesome. So I would say check back at the end of the day, and we'll see which of the writers won our dialogue challenge. So awesome. And for those of you who missed out, this past weekend, our story and critique stream was on Sunday. It was a really fun stream. We had some actually really good stories this past Sundays. So if you missed out on it, I would suggest go check out the last episode of the Story and Critique stream, episode 57. I'll drop the link down in the chat if you missed out. We'll go Story and Critique show, episode 57. There you go. I just dropped that down in the chat for something to give you guys to watch next. So, and yeah. That is what I got for y'all this week, writers. Like I said, nothing crazy, not too much. Tomorrow, I'm planning on streaming early afternoon. Let's see, tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm going to try to aim for... we'll see. It might actually be late morning. I'll see how my stream goes. But I really am going to aim for a 2-hour stream because I need to get to this chapter. So... come back, join us. I'll be back tomorrow for another daily writing sprint stream. Thank you. Tap that like button if you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Monday's update stream. We'll have a little bit more meat and some more things to share. But unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the stream. Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. It's time to write
Right
now.
now.
Sorry.
Right now, not right now, but right now. Read now, right now. Is that